Hello and welcome to today's video. Um, Part of me wanted to do some sort of playoff preview for every region. Then I realized, oh no, all of them pretty much start tomorrow except LPL. We'll move on from that and just kind of talk about just, in my opinion, how terrible these formats are. I'm obviously a hater of pretty much all the double. I really don't like double elim, but regardless. I think single elim with higher seeds getting to play against the worst teams works out the best in a traditional sports format. But regardless, what I have on here is each region, the amount of teams that were eligible to make it to Worlds. Um, what the hell? Like the whole playoff format, like LCK, 6 of the top 10 made the playoffs historically. Okay, 60%. I don't love it. I don't like when more than half of team. I don't like it. The thought of a team with a negative win rate making the playoffs. I really don't like it. And then all 5 regions now have adopted this strategy of, hey, let's keep everybody alive. They can suck for months on end, but if they can play the rule set, which is the patch that playoffs is on, they can go to Worlds. I think that is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. That's why, it plays into the whole thought of, well, Worlds is not a year long trophy, it is a patch related trophy. It is the best team on the patch. That is Worlds. Now, obviously, Worlds is more intricate, it is more advanced, it's the best teams in the world. Don't get me wrong, it's a more impressive thing to win than patch 15-15 in your domestic region because the level of play is much higher. It's just a matter of it's truly the best team on the patch. It's not the best team of the season. Hell, it might not even be the best team on the patch. It's just the best team on the patch that got to go to Worlds. It's just it's. Obviously, DRX, I guess, is the example of a team that very well, like, there could have been a team better than DRX that weren't at Worlds in 2022. It's I really don't like it. So in Korea, technically, going into this week, 8 of 10 teams could have went to Worlds. Bro could have went to Worlds with a 41% win rate against teams that were in the bottom half of the LCK. It's not even like, well, I guess some of that is, the first set, right? Rounds 1 and 2. Regardless, 41% win rate, that's not great. We don't love 41% win rate from my perspective. But technically, there was an angle for Bro to somehow go to Worlds. Is it likely? No. But the fact that it's possible, I think, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. China, 12 of the 14 teams in summer had a chance to go to Worlds. Ultra Prime, if they beat Weibo, could have went to playoffs, could have went to Worlds. You could say, well, because they beat Weibo on that day, they have the right to try. Hey, we're sending the best teams to Worlds at the moment. Okay. So you're not sending your best teams of the season. You're saying the best teams at the moment. Okay, well, just keep that in context when we look at Worlds. Don't, say, oh, they're the best team this season. No, they're the best team at the time. They're the best team at the time. That does not necessarily mean that it can't be the best team if Gen G win Worlds. I'm going to say, yeah, best team in the world all season because Gen G have been thus far. But if, I don't know, D plus Kia win Worlds, I'm not going to say D plus for the best team in the world for the season. They're the best team at Worlds for perspective. If Bro somehow, some way under or Ultra Prime won or whatever, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't catch myself even uttering the possibility of such a thing because Ultra Prime had a 37% win rate against teams that stunk, had an opportunity, had even a chance to go to Worlds. Still, after a 37% win rate, had a chance. And then you go and it's a 57% of the teams still remain in the LPL with a chance to go to Worlds. 60% of the LCK teams historically, that's what it's been, but they did give a chance to 2 teams that traditionally would not have had that chance. Now BFX beat D+. So what does that say about D Plus's whole season thus far? Oh, well, they've been inconsistent. Yes, but the fact is they had a better win rate. thus far had maybe a better season thus far. Europe, still 80% of the teams could make the playoffs. BDS had a 33, sorry, make Worlds. BDS had a 33% win rate. Still could go to Worlds. Now the schedule, of course, is much messier. It was tougher because you were playing literally. LEC split their region in half, and played world teams that are in that conversation. Unlike the LCK and in LPL, where these two teams that were the worst were playing teams that sucked. That is the difference there in that 33%. But still, I do think it's kind of weird. But your format wasn't great, so I could see that happening. Where a team that was 8th, I mean, I could do the mental gymnastics a little easier than I could do for Korea and China. LCP, 6 out of 8 teams could still go to Worlds. SoftBank Hawks could still go to Worlds. 75%. DFM and Chief Esports Club's the only two that can't. 50% win rate for SoftBank Hawks in the lower group. That's why there's an asterisk. So while they don't have a real chance to do it, the fact that they have any chance at all at this point, I just feel is a bad format. America. LTA. So, every team had a chance to still go to Worlds after their little... out of all the formats, LTA had the worst one. Their whole, like, hey, let's carry our banners out to the stage and, like, pick who the hell we're going to play. No. And then do best of series and what... Just... No. Bad. Terrible format. Terrible. I just watch the games. Don't even try and ignore the fact that the format's a joke. We just watch the games, for the players, for the stats, and do not think about the format and how we got to this point. Truly, I just truly try and avoid all the extra bullshit that happens in these regions with these formats because I think they're so bad. America's though. Dig didn't win a single series. Fluxo didn't win. They had a chance. Still. I know your format's a joke, so I guess you kind of do have to give them a chance because this format stinks. I don't love it. Thankfully, in the end, they have what I would consider to be they're going to determine the best team in a better way than any of the other regions, in simply that only the top 3 from LTA North and LTA South get to go to the regional championships, and 3 of those 6 teams go to Worlds. So the top 38% are who have an opportunity to go to Worlds in the regional championship format. It's just the fact that any of them could have made it. Fluxo could have gotten there. After going 0-3 to start, it's like, yeah, well, they end up in the bottom group, and if they win a couple best of 5s, they deserve it. Yeah, if they do, but I don't think they deserve a seat at the table. I don't believe Ultra Prime did. Bro. BDS. SoftBank Hawks, why do you have a seat at the table? Why are we keeping these teams alive? We could have a better format if you had less teams eligible for the playoffs. Oh, we want to keep it. No, if like fan bases need to have that. I mean, I don't know. Are we catering to this? Like, hey, we got to keep these teams alive because their fans will cry the blues that their team stinks and it shouldn't be here. Like, I mean, I don't know. As a traditional sports fan, I think this format stinks. I really do. I really don't think it's very good at all. These formats. I think of the traditional sports in North America, the big 4. Hockey has always been top 50%. There's 32 teams, 16 teams make playoffs. In basketball, it was that way. Now it is not. Now their format allows, I think, the top 20 of 32 teams to possibly go to playoffs because they do some play-in bullshit. Don't love that. Or it's 18. Either way, it's no longer 50% or better. The NFL has expanded. They expanded from 12 of 32 teams to 14 of 32. Still, I would consider it to be a better indicator of who's good over a season because you literally have less than the top half there. Baseball, 30 teams. 30 teams, yes. Historically, they literally had like only, I think, like 5 teams make playoffs, maybe. Now it's 6, I think, in each side. So it went from 10 to 12 of 30. Once again, upper half. More better than the upper half. I think that's a better indicator of who is the best team of the season, because you literally took better than half or better. But when you take teams that have a losing record, and I understand like there are like there's circumstances where, well, the team at halfway is 7-9. Okay, I could see that. Okay, that's going to happen once in a while. Let them in, but I could see it once in a while for sure. That's not indicative of me saying the format should change. Once in a while that happens. But when you have literally the third worst team in a region in some sort of format that could allow them to still go to an international event after a regular season has taken place, I don't love it. And you can say, oh well, the formats, with the three, and I do believe the late introduction and committal to Fearless didn't help things. It really didn't. Because it forced the regions to go into best of formats instead of best of ones. They couldn't do it anymore with Fearless. So I get that. Next year, my expectation is that all 5 regions change. They're changed. They have to change some way. None of these are perfect. Some are much worse than others. But I do think they stink. I think, like, you look in the LCK, that LCK Cup, the teams didn't take that seriously. In China, you're literally killing 2 teams every season after spring. And then after that, we see what LGD literally did. They had Nayu, and then they let him go after they were guaranteed not to be demoted for summer. And then, like, LTA at least have promotions now. Promotion relegation is back, so there is that threat. But Kine just got signed to Isurus to keep Isurus alive. Dignitas said goodbye because we have our spot locked. Isurus is now going to have Kine to try and keep their spot in LTA South. No, you should be stuck with Lazy because that's who you went with. Kine was available. You chose not to have him. This is who you got. And Dignitas saying they traded him. Where is the return? There is no... Don't tell me you got future considerations going on. And you didn't have the balls to say that in your tweet. Like, at least say that. So in, like, traditional sports sense, you'd be like, wow, that was a silly thing to do. But, man, I don't know. I'm not impressed. I am not impressed by any of the regions right now in their formats. I think they all stink to some degree. Way, shape, or form, at least LTA, the top 6 are in the end are the ones that duke it out. And, but then again, all of them had a chance to get here in a playoff setting. Understand the regular season, everybody has a chance to, but, man, these formats suck. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.